Yo, that is crazy. It's me, your girl, Talk With Tiy. Y'all already know I'm out here. I'm in full effect. And I think this is so funny right here. Twitter blocks Trump campaign account over COVID misinformation. Yo, I swear, yo. Tell me not this ain't funny. The president got blocked on Twitter. I think that's so hilarious, y'all. No, imagine if this motherfucker ban if he go turn around and ban no, matter of fact, sue. That's a big lawsuit right there. Mm, that's crazy. What? Mm-mm-mm. Stop playing. Even he's down with it. Look at this shit. This is how you can see how fake they are. Hey man, it's economy. Period. Anyway, let's see what President Trump has to say.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's good to be with you. I'd like to begin by providing an update on my administration's actions to protect American workers as we battle the China virus. Since the virus escaped China, my administration has enacted $3 trillion in economic relief. It's been very, very successful, and you saw that by the numbers that were issued yesterday and the day before. As to used car sales and auto production, they've been incredible numbers, actually, shockingly incredible. We've been negotiating in good faith with Democrat leaders in the House to extend relief payments. We're negotiating right now as we speak, and we'll see how that works out. But if Democrat leaders put partisan demands aside, we would reach an agreement very quickly. It would happen very quickly. In the meantime, my administration is exploring executive actions to provide protections against eviction. Eviction's a big problem, very unfair to a lot of people. It wasn't their fault that this virus came from a faraway land, as well as additional relief to those who are unemployed as a result of the virus. Very importantly, I'm also looking at a term-limited suspension of the payroll tax, something that has great support from many, many sides, especially some of our top economists and some people that we have great respect for. So we're looking at a suspension of the payroll tax. The Democrats are primarily interested in a $1 trillion bailout of the poorly run states. We have some states and cities, you know them all. We don't have to go through names, but they've been very poorly run over the years. And we can't go along with the bailout money. We're not going to go along with that, especially since it's not COVID related. Earlier today, I met with a great governor.
CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk, formulated without formaldehydes, phthalates, parabens, sulfates, and talc, giving me a healthy, natural look that says, "This is me, clean fresh."
Hooray!
Skin milk.
Hi guys, Sugo Lelamatams, also known as Yellow Gazette, girl from Zambia. If you're new to this YouTube channel, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you'll be notified that Gelo Pazer I post a video. So in this live stream, we are talking about what is happening in Zimbabwe. I have so many subscribers from Zimbabwe that have been asking me to talk about what's happening in Zimbabwe. And then I also have a friend of mine, Martin, who's a Zimbabwean, that will be joining us in a few minutes. That will be talking about what's happening in Zimbabwe. And, you know, it's best to also hear things from a Zimbabwean. But if you haven't come across this hashtag, there's a hashtag that's going on in Zimbabwe or online, which is Zimbabwean Lives Matter. Please make sure you use that hashtag. Zimbabwe is a neighboring country of Zambia. And Zimbabwe and Zambia have a very close relationship. And what affects Zimbabwe definitely affects us because we are one. we are one Africa, and therefore it's imperative that we share the concerns of our brothers and sisters. Each time I talk about the issues of Zambia, Zimbabweans are always, on my live streams, they share what's going on. So let's talk about what's happening in Zimbabwe. So I came across loads of tweets and information regarding the president of Zimbabwe that is stopping people from protesting. So meanwhile, let me invite Martin that will speak to us. Martin, I hope you're ready now so that you can speak to us about what's going on in Zimbabwe. So thank you. Make sure you share. And for those of you who want to join the stream, I am about to drop the link. Hi, Talala Lawrence. Talala Lawrence. We want peace in the whole of Africa. Obviously, that's our role here on this YouTube platform. We just don't focus on one country. We focus on all the African countries because we believe if we can voice out our concerns, then change will come. Recently, we've seen what has been going on in Zambia, where if you try to protest, you are stopped. It's happening in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, it's even worse. Zimbabweans were bold enough to go to the front line to try to protest. We've had frontline workers from Zimbabwe trying to protest, and they are put in custody. Let's listen to Martin. Martin, come and sit down. Let's listen to Martin share this stream. So Martin is here. Hi, Martin. How are you?
Hi. Sorry, for some reason I can't hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. You just speak. The floor is yours.
Hold on.
Yeah. Obviously, I was asking you questions a few days ago.
My volume is very high, but
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So a few days ago, yeah, I can hear you. So you can just speak about what's happening in Zimbabwe. We'll hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're very clear.
Wait, hold on.
Okay. So obviously there is what you call. Yeah.
Technologies. I'm not really good at this. So the loudspeaker was on. I couldn't hear you clearly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So tell us, what's happening in Zimbabwe. I was just surprised. My YouTube subscribers were telling me, "Why don't you talk about Zimbabwe?" And I felt lost. Like, what's happening in Zimbabwe? So please tell us what's happening in Zimbabwe.
Oh, okay. I'll try and explain the best way I can, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Because obviously I'm in the UK, so I'm not really on the ground, but I'll try to explain it the best way I can. So what's actually going on is, since 2017, when the new president took over, it was a coup, by the way, in 2017. So Mugabe was gone, and then came in the new president called Emerson Mnangagwa. So when he came in, everyone thought he's the answer, because obviously Mugabe has been the president for so many years, for over 30 years. So people needed change, and then Mnangagwa came in as a savior. Fair enough. Everyone was happy. Everyone was in the streets celebrating. Promised the world. He promised us that he's going to take us from Egypt to the promised land of Canaan, and everyone was cool with it. So fast forward, things started going down. The economy started going down. Inflation. People started using local currency, and then the local currency was not performing well as it's supposed to be.
Damn commercials. Hate you, mother commercials. Damn.
Losing jobs. Well, there were no jobs anyways. Like, I think probably about 91% of the people were unemployed. By go worse, most of the money is in the informal sector. Like, people are selling things in the streets, selling whatever they can to survive. So that's what people survive on. But then he started introducing policies that restrict all that. Like, people are not supposed to be selling in certain places, like loads of restrictions on the income of people. So that triggered a lot of poverty to start, the poverty rates to start going very, very high. And then now, when you talk of the civil servants as well, like the
Yes.
doctors, the nurses, the teachers, and all sorts, they couldn't perform well because of they were earning in local currency, but the shops were charging US dollars. Like, for example, let's say uh, you earn in Zimbabwean dollars, but when you go to the shop, they ask you to pay in US dollars.
Wow.
So it wasn't making sense, because by the time you change your money from the local currency into the US dollars, obviously it's hit by inflation. You don't do anything. Like, for example,
Yes.
right now, what teachers, nurses, soldiers, like most civil servants, what they're earning now is equivalent to, I think, about 30 US dollars. Maybe in
Wow.
pounds, for you to understand, that's about maybe 25 pounds a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's like
and it's
that's
actually,
like
and it's in local currency.
that's like 600 kwacha Zambian money a month. No, 400
Yeah, maybe
450
something
kwacha.
like that.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe something like that. Yeah. And also, even if it's equivalent to 30 US dollars, they are still earning it in the local currency. And like I said, it's really inflationary, can't do anything. So there's been a major backlash from the civil servants. Like, you know what, we can't perform well. Like the healthcare system, in the healthcare system, the nurses need to perform, and they need to be rewarded for the job that they are doing. So they couldn't perform well. The teachers, the same thing. The soldiers and the police, well, obviously they can't say anything, but they are also feeling the impact. So now, over the years from that 2017, that's like 3 years, the healthcare system has been going down. The
Yes.
hospitals are malfunctioning. Everything is just like worse. During the Mugabe era, things were bad, right? Like things were really bad. But this time, it's like we can't even compare it to Mugabe. People are actually saying the Mugabe era was even way better than what we are now. So in a nutshell, that's how I can explain it. So people were like, okay, we're tired now. We need to do a civil protest, a peaceful march.
Yeah.
And then we said we're going to do it on the 31st of July. That was like 3 days ago.
Yes.
It started circulating around social media for a few weeks. People saying, "Oh, we're going to protest on the 31st. We're going to protest on the 31st." So obviously, it got into the ears of the government. A few days before the 31st, soldiers they started mounting in the streets, in the CBDs, and in all the big cities like Harare.
Arizona Governor Doug Ducey has really done a fantastic job beyond even the COVID situation, which you've been reading about as it pertains to Arizona. A state that is a model for applying a science-based approach to the decreasing cases and hospitalizations without implementing a punishing lockdown. Arizona's record in reducing the spread of the virus while maintaining hospital capacity and allowing society to continue functioning and functioning very nicely, very successfully, is an example that shows how our path forward can work in other states. Arizona has a record, and a record really to be proud of. It's reduced the number of daily new cases by over 75%, cut the positivity rate in half, and reduced ER visits by 2/3, all the while keeping the economy functioning and functioning really well. When cases surged in June, the Vice President and Dr. Burke visited Arizona to consult with Governor Ducey. I had long consultations with Governor Ducey and the staff, and the Vice President has been in constant contact ever since. My administration is also collaborating with the state and local officials across the South and Midwest to provide similar guidance. We had a great relationship with the representatives in Arizona, and it's been such a successful endeavor. The federal government has supplied or delivered more than 400 million pieces of personal protective equipment to Arizona, along with nearly 70,000 vials of remdesivir. We've provided over $18 billion in economic support to Arizona, including more than $8.6 billion to support over 80,000 small businesses. So we really have been helping Arizona, and it's gotten tremendous results. Our goal is to protect the most vulnerable, increase recovery rates, you know that, and that's something so important, and prevent hospital overcrowding, all the while avoiding the kind of stringent lockdowns that would inflict substantial suffering. In this phase of the battle, we have the tools, resources, and knowledge to implement a targeted approach as we race to deliver a vaccine. And we are really working very hard on the vaccine, and I think they're doing a fantastic job. I've been meeting with officials of some of the greatest companies in the world, meeting with scientists, and they're getting very close. If not there, they're getting very close. They're testing. Any proper analysis of infection control measures must take into account the short-term and long-term public health harms, including death caused by a far-reaching shutdown. When you shut down, you have many, many things that happen, from suicides to depression to drinking, alcohol problems to drug problems, to problems with marriages. That you have people confined to their house, their apartment, for long periods of time. You cause a lot of problems with that also. Instead, Arizona has adopted the following measures. The governor advised residents to aggressively social distance when possible and maintain strict hygiene. The state encouraged mask use in crowded public places, especially when social distancing is not possible.
CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk, formulated without formaldehydes, phthalates, parabens, sulfates, and talc, giving me a healthy, natural look that says, "This is me." Clean Fresh Skin Milk. Pair it with the new hydrating concealer and talc-free powder from Easy Breezy Beautiful CoverGirl.
The governor also exercised his discretion to restrict capacity at indoor locations to limit the possibility of super spreading. It's a big thing. My administration surged treatments. We got them a lot of treatments and therapies to the state, including nearly 70,000 vials of remdesivir, enough to treat over 11,000 patients, and it's been very successful, I might add. My administration also delivered PPE and point-of-care testing to over 100 Arizona nursing homes. In total, the federal government has provided massive amounts of masks and equipments and gowns, and you know some of those numbers. But Arizona was a very big beneficiary, and they very much really appreciated it. More than 1,000 National Guard and medical personnel have also been deployed in Arizona, and they've really helped. They've been terrific, and I want to thank them. They have been brave and brilliant, combination of both. We also supported our tribal communities. The tribal communities were hit very, very hard. Governor Ducey and I personally delivered rapid testing systems to the Navajo Nation, which has been really in originally bad shape and now getting better, and very, very quickly. The Navajo Nation now has one of the highest levels of testing per capita anywhere in the world. We really worked very hard on the tribal areas, and in particular, in this case, the Navajo Nation. They've done incredibly well. Overall, Arizona has conducted over 1.1 million tests, more than the entire nations of Japan, Mexico, and Switzerland. Arizona's per capita testing is higher than Germany, South Korea, France, and Canada. And tribal governments in Arizona have received nearly $1.3 billion for the Coronavirus Relief Fund. Meanwhile, outdoor dining, limited indoor dining, and most of the other businesses in Arizona have remained open and very vibrant. They're doing incredibly well. This is an approach, and it's an approach that's been incredibly successful. Arizona has been able to protect high-risk populations and quickly bring its outbreak under control without the need to impose overly punitive measures. Thanks to advances in treating the virus, the fatality rate across all age groups in Arizona is very low. Arizona's scientific and data-driven strategy also preserved hospital capacity, ensuring that those who need care were able to receive it and receive it immediately, very quickly. At the peak, approximately 15% of beds remained available statewide. That was at their peak, with roughly 20% of all occupied beds going to patients hospitalized for the virus. They kept other things going. They kept other forms of operations going. They kept elective surgery going. Did a really amazing job. Today, only 6% of the current hospitalizations in the state are related to the China virus. Arizona has also demonstrated success in protecting the state's African-American population. Only 5% of patients hospitalized were African-American, and African-Americans represent just 2% of all deaths from the virus. As it has worked to contain its outbreak, Arizona has also been formulating a plan to get children safely back to school as soon as possible. We want our schools open all over the country. We want our schools open. Arizona's worked very hard on this, and they're doing very well. The Department of Education is providing Arizona schools with $625 million. They're working very hard, and that's in conjunction with CARES funding. My administration is actively working with other states in the same way we worked with Arizona. In recent weeks, members of the coronavirus task force have visited over 15 states to encourage them to follow our path forward, including Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, Indiana, and Ohio. And I'll be going to Ohio tomorrow. I look forward to it very much. It's a great place and a great state with an excellent governor, and we look forward to being there tomorrow. Next week, Dr. Burke, we'll be visiting Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And also, I believe they're trying to get in West Virginia, a great place, a great state, and I'm sure that will happen because we'd like it to happen. They'd like to see her. So we're going to try very hard to get the doctor to West Virginia in addition to those states to deliver aggressive, tailored, and targeted guidance. The strategy we're taking to these states will protect those at highest risk while allowing others at a lower risk to safely resume work and school. If we do this successfully, it can be really something incredible because we're talking about a lot of states. We're talking about many, many states. It's really great to see also that Florida, we're coming down. It's coming down and pretty substantially in many locations. And even Miami is starting to come down. Miami was hit very hard. California, likewise, and Texas, likewise, coming down and really starting to be a substantial amount of reduction. It recognizes that prolonged lockdowns impose a wide range of serious public health threats, including higher levels of suicide, drug overdoses, and other significant health harms resulting from the depression that we talked about, social isolation, economic hardship. It's been very tough for those people that are put in a lockdown position for too long. Really has been a very tough and harmful situation for many people. The fact is that these harms are not measured daily here or abroad. It makes them really a very serious threat because people don't know exactly what they are and how bad they are. But I think they're very bad. Going forward, we must continue to remain vigilant in shielding the elderly and those with underlying conditions. Approximately half of all deaths have occurred in nursing homes and long-term care facilities, which is an incredible number and statistic if you think about it. I also urge Americans to help us stop the spread of the virus, practice good hygiene, socially distance, avoid large crowds, and wear a mask where distancing is not possible. It's a patriotic thing to do. If you are sick, Isolate yourself, especially from high-risk family members and friends. So important. Isolate yourself from high-risk family members and friends if you're not feeling well. Together, we will defeat the virus and emerge from this safer and stronger than ever. Thanks to the robust federal action in partnership with state and local leaders, new cases of the virus are declining in 80% of the jurisdictions, which is an incredible number. And the overall test positivity rate has declined by 8% since last week. 0 states have seen outbreaks get worse since yesterday, so 0 states. We're also continuing to make progress in the development of a vaccine. This is something so important. Also, therapeutics are on the front burner. We're having tremendous, I think we'll let you know very soon, I think long before the end of the year. We're having tremendous success on therapeutics and tremendous success on vaccines, and we're ready to deliver them literally as soon as they're okayed. This morning, my administration approved $1 billion for Johnson & Johnson, who's been working very hard, and they have something very special to manufacture and distribute 100 million doses of a China virus vaccine as soon as one is available. And again, we think that's going to be soon, and we think we're going to have the vaccines before the end of the year, maybe long before the end of the year. Finally, today, I'm pleased to announce that the Department of Justice has issued $35 million in grants to 73 organizations nationwide, providing assistance to human trafficking victims, a terrible thing. You think of human trafficking as being an ancient form of crime. It's not. Because of the internet, it's a very modern crime all over the world. Not just here, all over the world, human trafficking. It's usually in women or women and children. But it's, again, because of the internet, it's a terrible situation. Never been like this. And also survivors who face heightened dangers during the pandemic. It's actually increased during the pandemic. I guess some reasons are obvious and some reasons are less obvious, but human trafficking, we're working very, very strongly. The wall is up to 277 miles right now, and it's going up by the end of the year. It'll be largely finished shortly after the end of the year. And it's had a tremendous impact, a very positive impact on human trafficking, unbelievable impact, actually. My administration will never rest in our fight against the human trafficking. To me, it's one of the most horrific of crimes, and we work very hard on that. With that, we'll take some questions. Please.
2 quick questions. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, you said that voting by mail is an invitation to fraud. Could you lay out and tell us exactly where the evidence is right now that mail-in ballots in Nevada and other states will lead to widespread fraud?
Well, if you read, even the Washington Post had a terrible story on mail-in, and the New York Times, and many newspapers have had terrible stories. You see them all over the internet. They've had some just horrible stories on mail-in ballots. You look at Arizona, you don't even have to have, as you know, they have a provision where they don't have to check signatures. So you sign it, and you could have a totally different signature. It's okay. It won't be approved. They have the right to go 7 days after the election for approval. So you're not even going to know who won the state of Nevada.
I just wanted to point out, we did call Nevada's Secretary of State's Office Election Division, and the spokeswoman there said that that simply isn't true, Mr. President, and that Nevada will continue to check ballot signatures against voter registration cards. It's done at the county level.
Okay, but that's not what they said when they approved it. They said they're not going to check signatures. They're not going to be able to. And their machinery, which is old, doesn't allow them to. So it's going to be physically impossible for them to do that, especially in a short period of time. In addition, you have the November 3rd election, and they're allowed to count votes until 7 days after the election. So what does that mean? If Nevada, which is a big state and a great state, a state I like very much, and I think we're going to do very well there, are we going to wait a week after November 3rd if it comes down to Nevada, which it could very well? I don't think so. I don't think it's appropriate. So with all of the bundling that you're going to have, with the harvesting you're going to have, with people being sent ballots all over that have maybe nothing to do with the state anymore, it's a terrible thing. In New York, they had the Carolyn Maloney situation, and I criticized it badly over the last 2 years and 2 days. I mean, I gave it some very, very strong criticism, And all of a sudden, like a miracle, they just approved the winner. Well, what happened? Did the person that was second concede the race, even though it was very close and all mixed up? They have a terrible situation in New York with the ballots, you know that. And as soon as I said, well, I think you should have a new election, because the election, obviously, they're not going to know what to do. I think you should have a new election. They all of a sudden announced a winner. I assume it was her, but they announced a winner. Well, I don't agree with it. Did somebody speak to the person on the other side, the opponent? Did they do something for the opponent on the other side? Take a look at Paterson, New Jersey. Take a look at many things. It's all over newspapers what's going on with the mail-in ballots. They send out millions of ballots. They're totally unprepared to do it. And then they come back in the millions. It's going to be a disaster. I'm doing our country a big favor by bringing it up. And, you know, from a common standpoint, even common sense standpoint, if you look at it just out of common sense and pure, basic, beautiful intelligence, you know it can't work. Now, Florida's worked very hard for years and years on developing a system, and I'm sure they probably have problems also. But absentee ballots are different than mail-in ballots, what you call universal mail-in ballots. Are much different. You have to apply for it. You have to do different things, and it's a much better system, and it's a system that can be reasonably accurate. But there's no system like going to the poll and voting. So I would like to find out why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the midst of all of this grief, why is it that they approved the New York race while you asked that question?
Race, sir, there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud
Which one?
there.
Oh, really? Well, then you're
primary.
reading a different newspaper than me.
Have to do with
Go ahead,
related
please.
to the delivery and the postmark.
Go ahead, please, go.
Sir, you said in an interview this morning on the coronavirus, this thing's going away. It will go away like things go away, despite ongoing cases and deaths.
Going away.
Isn't that continued claiming out of touch with reality?
It's going away. No, it'll go away like things go away. Absolutely. It's no question in my mind. It will go away. Please, go ahead.
President, you praised,
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Mr. President, you praised Governor Ducey's handling of the epidemic in his state. One of the things that he did was delay the start of public schools opening. Is that a model that governors in states experiencing hotspots should do as the beginning of school does approach?
Well, I'd like to see the schools open. I think many of the schools, most of the schools will be open. I can say that Republican areas want to see them open, and the Democrats probably want to keep them closed until after November 3rd because they think it's good for them politically. I actually don't think it's good for them politically. Parents want the schools open. We want them open. We want them open safely. We're going to practice very strong hygiene and all of the other things that I've enumerated many times. But we want to see the schools open.
You're encouraging states to follow Governor Ducey's model here, and what part of that model was
His model, I just think he's done a very good job. I mean, he's really done a great job. You look at the numbers, you look at how it's dropped, and very rapidly, he's done a great job. He's a great governor. Please.
In an interview this morning, Mr. President, you were talking about opening the schools, and you said children are virtually immune from COVID-19, but children have contracted this virus, and some have died.
When I say that, I'm talking about from getting very sick. If you look at children, I mean, they're able to throw it off very easily. And it's an amazing thing because some flus, they don't. They get very sick and they have problems with flus and they have problems with other things. But for whatever reason, the China virus, children handle it very well. And they may get it, but they get it and it doesn't have much of an impact on them. And if you look at the numbers of in terms of mortality, fatality, the numbers for children under a certain age, meaning young, their immune systems are very, very strong. They're very powerful, and they seem to be able to handle it very well, and that's according to every statistic.
Is it right?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, at least two people connected to Kanye West's effort to get on the ballot have been connected to the Republican Party. Is this
Whose ballot?
Kanye West.
With Kanye
He's getting on the
West?
ballot, including in swing states, and as you know, his wife has raised issues about whether he's having mental issues right now. So my question to you is...
That Kanye West does? I don't know that. Who said that?
His wife said he might be going through an episode.
But
anyway, my question
I
to
like
you
him.
is...
I mean, I like him. He's always been very nice to me.
Are you aware of
He's
any of
talking
the
about
efforts...
Kanye West.
Are you aware of or have you encouraged anyone in the party to help him get on the ballot, including in swing
No,
states?
not at all. No, not at all. Other than I get along with him very well. I like him. I like his wife. His wife recommended certain people, as you know, including Alice Johnson, who's a fantastic woman, but his wife recommended certain people to get out of prison. They were in prison for a long time, a long, long time. It should have never happened. And I took what she said very strong, Kim Kardashian. And she's got a good heart, very good heart. And I like Kanye very much. No, I have nothing to do with him getting on the ballot. We'll have to see what happens. We'll see if he gets on the ballot. But I'm not involved.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you, the group of Republican senators are backing $25 billion in payroll assistance to keep the airlines being able to pay their payrolls. Do you endorse that plan?
They're doing what Republican senators are doing?
Republican senators want to go ahead with another $25 billion for airlines to keep their payrolls going.
Well, if they need it, certainly that's a business. Some businesses are doing better than they would normally. Obviously, we know what those businesses are. And obviously, the airline business is not doing very well. You have shutdowns all over the world, and you have airlines that are essentially shut down. Some airlines are doing, modest. The best they're doing is modest. I think it's very important that we keep the airlines going. There'll be very good times very soon, I hope, and we don't want to lose our airlines. So if they're looking at that, whether they're Republican or Democrat, I'd be certainly in favor. We can't lose our transportation system. Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, too, on Beirut. So there's been some question about your comments yesterday saying that it was an attack and that you'd heard from military officials that there was, an explosion, that it looked like some sort of a bomb.
What it was. I can tell you, whatever happened, it's terrible, but they don't really know what it is. Nobody knows yet. At this moment, they're looking. It could. I mean, how can you say accident? Somebody was, left some terrible explosive type devices and things around. Perhaps it was that. Perhaps it was an attack. I don't think anybody can say right now. We're looking into it very strongly. Right now, it's. You have some people think it was an attack, and you have some people that think it wasn't. In any event, it was a terrible event, and a lot of people were killed, and a tremendous number of people were badly wounded, injured, and we're standing with that country. We have a very good relationship with that country, but it's a country under a lot of turmoil, a lot of problems, but we stand with them.
Thank you. You said earlier today that you are considering using the White House as the venue for your nomination speech. Senator John Thune questioned whether or not that's actually legal given the Hatch Act. Is this something that you would get clearance for before
John
proceeding?
Thune did, right? The Republican John Thune? Oh. Okay, well, it is legal. There is no Hatch Act because it doesn't pertain to the president. But if I use the White House, we save tremendous amounts of money for the government in terms of security, traveling. If we go to another state or some other location, the amount of money is, very enormous. So that's something to consider also. I think it would be a very convenient location. It would be by far the least expensive location. There'd be very little in terms of that tremendous traveling security with airplanes and everybody flying all over the place. So I think it would be a very convenient idea. It's something that we threw out. It would be very cost conscious by comparison to any other location. Yeah, please.
Yeah, your son, Don Jr., tweeted yesterday asking you to direct the EPA to reject the Pebble Mine in Bristol Bay, Alaska. It's a giant copper and gold mine, and the thinking is that
rejected in what way?
Just reject its construction. The Army Corps of Engineers 2 weeks ago suggested it would be okay to proceed with the project, but it would. Sportsmen like your son are saying that it would be harmful to fisheries.
Well, I'd listen to both sides. I don't know of the argument yet, but I would certainly listen to both sides. My son has some very strong opinions, and he is very much of an environmentalist, and he was very impressed with what we did yesterday, because that's one of the great environmental bills, and beyond that, ever signed since well, I guess over 100 years, if you think about it. It's been a long time. But I will look at both sides of it. I had heard about it. I understand they're going to be doing a briefing sometime over the next 48 hours. It's going to go very quickly. I've done a lot for Alaska. I love Alaska. It's a special place. Anwar was one thing. The highway, Cove Highway, or whatever the new name is, whatever the old name is. We're getting approvals for a tremendous highway that's been sought for 40 years. They've been trying to get it approved, and I'm getting it approved. We've done a lot for Alaska. It's a special place, and I'll take a look at that. It's interesting. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two brief questions. First, your administration has praised ambulance drivers and the ambulance service for their role in dealing with the coronavirus.
Sure.
And recently there has been scuttlebutt that the ambulance associations, drivers and all, have not been fully reimbursed for the work they're doing. They said they are owed $2.89 billion, and they've only received $300 million from the Provider Relief Fund.
Not 300 billion, no. Not 300.
Million.
You mean 300 million?
At the Provider Relief Fund at HHS. Are you going to look into this?
I will. I just heard of it for the first time. The ambulance people have done an incredible job, as have the doctors, the nurses, the frontline workers. Law enforcement has been incredible. The military, FEMA. I mean, I could name almost every group. I can't tell you of a group that's done poorly, but the ambulance people have done it's a tough job too, very dangerous job, very tough job. I will certainly look in. I mean, you're telling me something that for the first time, nobody is complaining about not getting paid too much, but we'll take a look at the ambulance drivers.
The other thing, Secretary Esper said today that based on what he had heard, the incident in Beirut he felt was an accident. Now, he's disagreed with you on other things before. Do you have any comment about his remark?
Whatever if that's what he heard, I think that I've heard it both ways too. I've heard accent, I've heard, explosives, and obviously it must have been some form of explosives. But whether it was a bomb intentionally set off, it ended up being a bomb. But no, I've heard it both ways. It could have been an accident, and it could have also been something that was very offensive, and I wouldn't be very happy with that.
And you have no problem with
Just
him?
to follow up on that, Mr. President, even if you just have suspicion that the Beirut explosion is a bomb, do you have any plans of pertaining to U.S. assets in the region, for example? I mean, how are you looking into this?
We're working very closely with the government, and we're working very closely with many different agencies, including the military, and we'll be able to figure it out. We already probably have figured it out. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Mr. President,
What did you mean when you said it is what it is about 1,000 Americans dying a day?
Can you imagine that? Can y'all imagine that? Ain't that about a ooh? To the hell, to the nah. That's the type of shit we dealing with. Oh, and by the way, I found this shit in the motherfucking local pharmacy. So, you see how they communicating with one another? They real slick, ooh, they so motherfucking slick. And like I said, ain't nobody buying no book that look like that. Oh, man, motherfucker, I'm telling you right now. Ain't nobody. Damn. Ain't nobody buying no book like this. Okay? Let me see. Trying to remember, see how much it was. Usually the price be like on a little near the skew barcode somewhere, like in small numbers or something. Okay? Look at that. Secrets. Oh man, look at this shit. Predictions. Mysteries of the universe. Ain't nobody thinking about no shit like this. Now listen, let me tell y'all something. This is how they communicating now. Because the internet is too loud. Ooh, wow. And not only that, I'm going to show you, I'll go a step further and show you some more. You know what I'm saying? How? This is their MO. Let me go ahead and go over here real quick and get something real quick. Close this out. And let's go back up here. Oh yeah, here you go. And so All right. These are just some other. This is just a whole. And you know what? I wound up buying this book. It's actually $12.99. Um, this shit is a psycho ass book. You feel me? That's the cover. $12.99. This is how they communicate. Now, I don't know how long they've been selling these things in there, you know, but this book right here is deep. It is so deep, and it does got a little some of everything in there. Just basically breaking a breakdown of all kinds of types of secret society, because you know they always try to make it seem like it's only white people, but it's black folks too. Organizations and they wind up being like black uh, Freemasons and stuff like that too. As you can see, you know, um, right here, you know, they. I haven't got there to even, you know, I haven't begun to read. I just posted it. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even read nothing too much. You know, all I know is, you know, a picture can say so many words. That's all I know, B. I'm telling you, for real, for real. And let me tell y'all just, man, we gotta get it together, y'all. Folks be out here doing the most. You know what? And I feel so bad because to be ignorant is to not know. That's the true definition of being ignorant. That's why when you don't know something, you say, I'm ignorant. You know, most folks are not educated. That kind of type of, you know. And that's a nice way of calling you uh, dumb. You know, because not to not know is, I'm telling you, it saves you the headache of saying you dumb effing whatever, blah 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 la li la. So how about when somebody be like, you ignorant, and they start trying to go in on you? Hey, shit. I speak from experience. I had to come across motherfucker face a couple of times. Bitch, you know what? I had to fight all my life. This ain't my. I had to fight all my life, bitch. Get the fuck on. This ain't no motherfucking game here, bruh. Shit. Hey, you motherfuckers be trying to pimp your brain. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell y'all. Look at these motherfuckers. Now, when you go and you look at these, let me play this song. I gotta play this song, y'all. You know what? I gotta play this song, so I'll go ahead and do this real quick. Yeah. Period, poo.
It's Clarion, Grandmaster J, Tiny Mikado, Black Africans, Hebrews of Egypt, 23rd dynasty, about 725 BC. Yeah, you can go to Isaiah 11:11. You can read it. I know the fact we are Israelites. Stop enslaving us and killing us. Yeah. This is the struggle. Nothing can stop us. Then.
Tribes of Israel, all 12 of them. You enslaved us. You degraded us. Raided our women and our men. Stole our history. Stole our religion. And now you're trying to steal
treating us like we are nothing. Now we gonna let you know we something. Everything original. Have you ever asked yourself when you die, where are you going to? We are equal in the eyes of God. Stop treating us bad. Freedom, 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 yeah. Yeah. Grandmaster J, the elect, and the chosen ones. Tiny Makata, Sclarion.
It's just
The situations get it twisted, situations get it right. So many things are so wrong. Yeah, 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 yeah. Since 1960 from now, no improvement, no hope, yeah. Take for instance the Chinese trying to take over, digging up our resources from here and there, yeah. From here and there, yeah, yeah. Wake up, Africa. Wake up, our leaders. Can't you see what's going on? Yeah. Wake up. Wake up. Africa, wake up. Needed to wake up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wake up. Oh. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Africa, wake up. Yeah. Why is everybody looking up when they busy looking down? They're digging up our diamonds, digging up our golds, taking everything they could. Let's carry on. We slept for so long. We need to wake up. Rise, Africa. One voice, one mind, one spirit. Black is beautiful.
Oh wait, hold up. Look, they getting ready to do what's in, but they getting ready to be done right in too. You know that, right? Oh my goodness. Are you serious? I mean, like, a whole bunch of comments just, in fragments. Like, they know what it is. Baby. That's how powerful the Most High is. Do you have an idea of a fragment? Let me tell you something. That shit will have these motherfuckers in their weapons, in their navies, in their militaries, in their motherfucking whole whatever the fuck they got, sir. Whatever the motherfuck they got. That shit'll leave their ass trembling in all their motherfucking equipment. Get the fuck on. y'all got the Most High twisted. I'm just saying though. Period. You feel me? Who what shit? They put God in a box. Like who what? These honkies trembling. They on a trembling mission now. Oh, you hear Trump? Oh no, we need the schools open. Motherfucker, what you need them schools open for? Them not your children? Fuck is you talking about? How the fuck is it safe for It's so scary, but it's safe for someone's children to come to school because you say so. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all Americans, man, we done got here so far because of dumb, down folks, and I don't want to be too hard on us. All I can do is pray, hello universe, is pray that y'all will overstand this, and I don't know. At this point, I really don't know what to say because folks is just doing whatever they want to do, and it is what it is. Oh, but you know what? Can't nobody do a video like my homie Ola. Let me go get this video. This right here, if it didn't alarm you, I don't know what else would alarm you. Pet out to hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, jeez. This is serious stuff right here. Oh, wait. And not only that, but this one here too. See, and it's funny because when I was saying this shit in my videos, right? Nobody got it. Nobody cared to get it. You know what I'm saying? When I said even these motherfuckers in the Grammy Awards was saying time is up, you did not. I'm telling you, even on any channel I've ever said that on, you never took that for granted. When I dropped that low, and look, now my homie, my brother, aka the news, is going to show you and elaborate around your brain real quick and microphone check. Period.
The goal is to have a safe.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Let's get your brains going. Okay. Yeah, I will make your ass.
The goal is to have a safe and effective vaccine for the public by the end of the year.
Finally saying, time's up.
That we will get an effective vaccine by the end of the year.
But their time is up. We feel cautiously optimistic that we will have a vaccine by the end of this year.
Time's up!
I think it's fair to say that we have a good chance of having effective vaccines by the end of this year.
Time is up.
We're on pace to have a vaccine available this year, maybe far in advance of the end of the year, and we're mass producing the most promising candidates in advance so that we're ready immediately upon approval. We have our military lined up. It's logistics. It's all about logistics.
Folks, time's up. Time's up.
But their time is up.
Time's up. Time is up. Time is up. Time is up.
By the end of this year. By the end of this year. By the end of this year.
The end of the year. The end of the year. The end of the year.
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Time is up. Time is up. Time is up.
By the end of this year. By the end of this year. By the end of this year.
The end of the year. The end of the year. The end of the year.
The nations were angry, and thy wrath is come.
I couldn't even see
the
the whole
time
planet.
of the dead, that they should be judged.
That's how we're going to end this pandemic.
Ain't that something? You know? I mean, like,
for most of humanity,
let's be real. Like, who are you kidding? You know? But I got something else for y'all. Because Rap the News always comes.
And I couldn't even see the whole planet. I could only see like about a quarter of the planet.
And you couldn't see the whole planet. You could see maybe like 2/3 of it.
And I knew that it was just way, way bigger than the Earth. And it was really close. Like I could see all of the squirrely lines, everything.
Stripes. Like it was just striped. It was like these red and cloudy looking stripes. So this is pretty much really close to what that planet looked like. I want to say that I don't remember having this like bluish tint here or this yellowy tint. It was mostly this color and this color. That's what the planet looked like.
And in the sky I saw a shield and it began to flicker.
And the planet was blinking in and blinking out, you know. And I'm like, is somebody playing games?
This thing was moving. It was moving from east to west. As a fact, it was moving from east to west because my brother's windows face east and south. So the east window is when I first saw it. So it kept moving, it was moving west, so I had to move to the south window so that I could move it, so I could watch it move across over to the west.
And looked like a planet had appeared in the center of the earth, but from wherever you was in the earth, everybody could see this planet.
Oh my gosh, what I saw move in front of my window was this massive planet looking like thing.
I could see a red planet, and the red planet was approaching, and it was very large.
It scared me because it looked like it was about to hit us. It was so close, and I felt fear. Like, what is going on? Like, that planet is right there. Like, it took up almost the whole sky.
I see this huge planet, and it was like almost half, it took up almost half the sky, maybe like 1/3 of the sky.
And we're talking humongous, like it's covering the entire sky.
Yeah, it was very, very large. It basically took up a large part of the sky. You could see it very, very clearly.
Black and red planet.
It was very dark. It was black and red.
This black and red planet, the black on this planet was so black, it looked like you could stick your hand through it.
When I looked out the window, I looked up, and I seen this large, big, fiery planet. It had craters in it, and it was on fire.
I could see the ribbons of fire that are jumping off of this planet.
It was like orange red, but it was like smoking hot.
And I just seen this big old fiery planet. But you could see the lava and stuff.
We started getting hot, like really hot, and I remember my shoulders burning, and it was almost like I could feel, feel the heat on me, that my shoulder was actually really hot, like something that you would move away from.
I could feel the heat emanating from it.
And I could hear the crackling of like a fireplace, kind of, but way more severe and intense.
I'm looking at it, it's way up in the sky.
And it came over our heads.
And it's pretty much on us. It's not even coming towards us, it's on us.
Part of it was like shadowed, and on the top right part of it, you could see just a little tiny sliver of the sun peeking through. And so that's why we were getting a little bit of light, but it was covering up most of the sun.
It covered the sun.
It keeps eclipsing the sun. And as it does this, the day is getting dimmer and dimmer. It's volcanic, and the flames are bright red with fire dancing. I felt like I was being pulled towards this planet, but not so much in a physical sense, but more like in a spiritual sense. I felt like my soul was being lifted from my body towards the sky.
This is Raptor News, and God has sent the world a message through these dreams. He sent you messages through the messengers. He also sent you messages through the scriptures. We're going to read a couple of those scriptures. Revelation 6:8. And I looked and beheld a pale horse. It is the sickness from this dust cloud that comes with the planet. And his name that sat on it was Death, and it caused sepsis and death. And hell followed with him, and it is the literal hell coming down to this earth. Men's hearts failing them at what's coming down on this earth. They say, don't look up in the sky, Raptor News. Don't look at the planets. Don't look at the stars. Don't look at this. We need to look at it, because that's what we waiting on. God's kingdom coming, and that's a part of the system. Jeremiah 4:7. The lion has come up from his thicket. So this thing lays in wait in the northwest and the northeast and the southwest corner of this world. It moves from location to location, but it's around those areas. It says in Isaiah 28:18, when the overflowing scourge shall pass over your heads. So if you heard in the dreams that this thing came right over our heads, and people start burning up, Then you shall be trodden down by it. It's going to rain brimstones on you. From the time that it goes forth, it shall take you. So the woman said in the end she was lifted up by this thing. Another man said before in another video I said that he was lifted up and taken to the lake of fire. For morning by morning shall it pass over, by day and by night. The understanding of this message, says the scriptures, will bring sheer terror. I will break the pride of your power, Leviticus 26:19, and I will make your heaven as iron. It is an
The goal
iron
is to have a safe
planet. Everybody understand? And then we're going to end Revelations 21:8. But the fearful, unbelieving, and abominable, the murderers and whoremongers, all you sinners, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, all these camps, all these preachers preaching that falsehood, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstones. So it says that the earth shall be thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is on that planet. Scientists and everybody else will tell you that that planet is going to go up underneath this planet, and we're going to get caught in its debris tail, and it's going to rain down brimstones on this earth for 1 hour. And then it says right in the scriptures that Babylon will be destroyed in 1 hour. Get your crap together. I mean, I'm talking about today, or else you're gonna burn on that planet. This is Rap the News.
No shade. Everybody's minding their own business. Everybody's doing their own thing. These are different people, different videos. This is him today. This is me today. This is him in the urgent. And then here, me, I go and I just decide to go and look in a book. I said, let me look in the book. What kind of book is this? I'm always opening a book. That's me. I'm nosy like that when it comes to books. So here we go. And then, it's just right there, in plain view sight. So they are talking. They just not this is a media blackout, actually. But the children of the most high is being sent to do the work of his will. And the most high does move the way the most high wants to move. It is what it is. And there's a lot of things that are going to happen in these last moments. So hang tight, because this is just the beginning of sorrows. Buckle up, you know. And hearing, and you know what? By the way, I did have one of those dreams as well. I cried for 1 week straight. 1 week straight. Okay? So vivid. Fire just falling straight down. So slow. It was torture. And I was looking for my daughter. My daughter's grown. You know, she grown. In the dream, she was only like 3 years old. And I'm looking for her, and I couldn't find her. And as I'm walking, everybody's still living their life, doing what they were doing. Finally, I found her. She goes, "Mommy, come on." The Holy Spirit said, "It's time to go. The word's finished." That was my dream. And I'm walking. I took her. We walk in, and you can hear the Most High. I can hear the Most High, talking. And honestly, like, I cried for a whole week. For a whole week. And that, I feel bad that I did not write that dream down, because as long as I cry, I wish I could. And I know it was saying something about. See, and I would have to go deep into it. Like, the last time I got stuck like this, and I left it right there. And then I brought the subject up, and I left it right there. Because I can't really quite. I should have just wrote my dream down. But that other part, seeing the fire, I woke up, I looked out my window, and I was like, whoa. because it was so vivid. And I cried for one whole week. One whole week. And for the first time, I knew uh, what it was, to see other. I finally felt, you know, just when you can remember someone crying over a dream that was so way out of your, out of your control, and then you can't do nothing. You become helpless, you know. Just to have a dream, to see things before it happens. And the dream, that dream, a lot of us had it, not just me, you know. And I'm almost sure that these people are sitting down still trying to figure out, but it's really all about time. Time is up. Time's up. Oh my God, time's up. Time's up. Even when I was doing the mantra, time, it said time's up. And it's not about worshiping nothing, but the fact that, we were taught a lot of stupid things, like whatever we were taught, we thought it was right. Some of us went to school and studied real good and got degrees, and it was all an illusion. You became to be the best in whatever you master, you know. At the end of the day, look at it. It was all a dream. That's what the movie of the Matrix is. I highly recommend everyone go and watch the Matrix, and you get a chance. And go watch American Gods. I want you to know how white people feel about you. And even if they go and they just take your stuff and go and make money off it, they have nothing else to offer to the table. They always have to steal to make a living. I mean, it's genetically inherited in them. They inherit lies. They are the liars. And some very genuine about this, but some are very complicit, guilty. Some have held this secret very long, and they got to live their best white privilege lives. And that can become complicit. Within yourself, within your own skin, within your, because after a while, when you begin to see the truth shine and rise in front of your face, and you begin to see it for what it really is, and they they go ahead and squeeze in on you tighter and tighter, they try to pass these laws in your sleep and tell you, don't, you better not even dare feel like that. You better not even dare feel like that. You better not do this. And you better go and don't even sleep near your mate now. One sleep up and one sleep down. Well, I'll be damned. All that. They went from Corona to telling you how to sleep with your man in your bed. Can you imagine that shit? One, don't sleep like that. Sleep like this. Do this and do that. Listen, I'm living my life. Like every day is my last. Y'all gonna have me cooking some french fries right now. Let me get them. Because you never know. I'm telling you, you know. But I tell you what, it would be nice, however, just know that every soul counts. Every soul counts. And the only reason, what makes it so harder is that, the people that they know better, they don't even want to dare see you knowing these things. That is the problem with them. But see, that's their problem. They didn't think that you knew. But they know very well. They know you better than you. And they play this little confederated game. And the Most High finna deal with them, Hey, Gentiles, take your asses up to the valley of Josaphat. And for the strangers that do love Israel, that do want to know more, that do want to be fair and square, because you are in prophecy. There's no denying that, you know. And I go by the scripts, the chess moves. You see what I'm saying? So now will be the time for you to step in. It is your play. The strangers. hmm And I speak life over that because they want to kill you too. As a matter of fact, all you Trump supporters out there, they really do want to kill you too. Now, if you haven't uh watched your, president tell, how he's ready to chip you with some Gavi, with some toxic, some poison, some I don't know what kind of fucking fuckboy Dr. Fucci mixes this, or whatever the fuck they got. It probably got all kinds of types of garbage shit in there, you know, human trafficking, feces, urine, mercury, fucking anything to kill your ass on the spot. These motherfucking hunkies. Get the fuck on. That's power in the mind. I'll be damned. But that's why the Most High finna deal with y'all. It's always gonna be y'all. Always trying to battle. Always trying to wear the saints out. Not trying. You have. You've done your best. And all we do is reproduce and grow like the sand. Because you know how we are. We be having all kinds of types of color babies. All browns and shades and stuff, right? You can pick and choose any kind of type of Negro you want. They have it. Dominican, Puerto Rican, Panamanian, or Cuban, or African American. Even though that's a continent. Natives. hmm Anything with a cans, okay? At the end, yeah, that's part of the bloodline. Don't let the motherfucker fool you. Like, pull up something like what's going on in the Dominican Republic, and you'll see a bunch of African or native black people. Period. Yeah, I promise you. So we are all one, and I'm grateful for that. I'm forever grateful that the Most High has given us a big family tree. It's great to see trees and branches being cut off at such a time. Um, and those are finding their way. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the struggle is real. Coming into this, no, it wasn't easy for none of us. Trying to stay alive ain't gonna be easy for none of us. Trying to keep our head above water, but if we righteous, the Most High is so powerful. So shout out to y'all who are out here doing it, who are bold and courageous, who are keeping their heads up, who are just fighting the cause, no matter how, how you know what? I'm gonna tell you like this: from 2 years ago, we've come thus far. Now, sometimes we need to give ourselves credit. Every last one of us that worked so hard on YouTube, whether we know it or not, just being bold and courageous, and the spirit is being pulled out on the sons and daughters, of the Most High, the children of Israel. They're finally rising. They're taking their identity back. They're not asking any questions, because this is a DNA thing. No one has to ask anyone for anything. Now, ain't no one asked no one to take anything neither. They took it upon themselves, and this is the moment that they have ever feared the most. But it is all by nature, not by design. Unlike Yeah. That is the power of the Most High. It's not some illusion, you had everyone from every darn church to bring Poland's and Moroccans and Lebanese and some new ass crazy ass shit you got going on. Now you finally got Damascus, baby. Happy birthday to you. And I know you want the Holy Lands and all those and all those King Abdullah's precious stones that y'all want so bad, you know. And then, the illusion with the Christians. What wrong with the Christians? Why they so crazy? Like, oh my goodness. No, wait. How, Mr. Grand Supreme, my brother, I'm not allowed to feel sorry for the Christians, so I'm going to be as cool, calm, as collected, because I don't like disrespecting people that never done me anything but the fact that, see, people can come off nice, but they're so detrimental to your soul. I'm just going to just drop that right there on your toes. Ouch. You know what I mean? Everyone who sounds nice don't mean that they are nice. Everything that they may portray themselves to be doing don't mean that there's that's the right intentions, because what may be convenient for them can easily be inconvenient for you, and that's just how the odds and the evens go, right? People think that we all supposed to be really uh, see, this is the thing about people. We could be whatever we want to be. We put ourselves in the box too with these fools, and they don't give the gods and the goddesses enough uh credit. you know they've been doing the most way too far long. It was something else that was really touching too, that we know that these Edomites know that their time is up. And I would like to play a little soundbite of that, because shout out to Big Judah. He be doing his thing. Like, it's not easy to sit around here and to entertain folks in such a time, because this ain't entertainment. This is this is one mind, one spirit. You know, moving accordingly and on one accord. Like it did. They don't. They're not. Most of these people are not uh uh really doing what he's doing. Everyone is doing something. They got their own thing going on. You know what I mean? Everyone is using their own gift in such a time. You know, and that is a phenomenal thing. To be moving the body. The one mind, the spirit. It's not like the Christianity garbage that they taught us. The body of, all I know is that we are a one, we can be a one mind, a one voice, a one big super energy. And that's what they really fear the most. But you know what? Rather they like it or not, the Most High is getting ready to do what the Most High getting ready to do, and no one got the last call like the Most High, and they know it. That's why they're up there biting on their nails right now, because they know their little Illuminati asses days is over and numbered, and the devil has yet to throw out whatever the devil wants to throw out. But can you imagine? When they decide to try to make it rain, the Most High will just make it rain. Like, period. It seems like they got a nice little drones and all kinds of types of little plans for us, man. They got a whole new scenery for us and everything. So it's gonna get real crazy out here, y'all. Y'all just hang tight. and you better act like you know. Cause the shit that Trump over out here saying and all these motherfucking hunkies, they minds is made up. They got it all down pat. They didn't ask you if you want a shot or if you this. No, they motherfucking demanded. They don't give a fuck. You could be 100 years old. Right now, they literally demanding and taking full control and authority over you and your mind, body, and soul. Oh, that's a violation. That's a motherfucking beyond rape. They still trying to rape. But you know what? You know what? This goes perfect with this video, especially at such a time like now. I really do feel the need to play this right here, cause this is super deep. Okay, this right here is super deep to the core.
Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Prayer to the Most High blesses this lesson this afternoon. Gives word knowledge, understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we may get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, I'm going in and some of these other books that we've read before, and just get more understanding by the Most High, the power of the Most High, as to why many of these books have been hidden. The plan of this movie, the beginning, the middle, the end, has already been set, already been written. And we are now getting the information back and the understanding back. We have come pretty much almost to the end of the times of the Gentiles here on our lands. They've been really slick with how they have been hiding words and changing the meaning of words, give multiple understanding of words, different definitions, changing places, changing the origination of ideas, sciences, math, everything. Giving credit to other nations, nationalities, making it seem as if every other nation has built absolutely everything, come up with every concept, but never giving credit to the ones that the Most High said He gave knowledge and understanding to Enoch and to his lineage. But they've taken it and given credit to absolutely everyone else. But that's okay, because the Most High said, we've now come to the climax. We're getting ready to get to the climax of the story. We're having the whole buildup of everything, and now we're quickly moving to the climax. And, we're going to get into prophecy that's being fulfilled today. See, this is why the churches are so quiet. This is why even people within our own community are so very quiet, because when you're only looking at the Bible, you can only get a certain understanding. If you're still talking about the lands over there in the so-called Middle East, see, they're going to have their play. They're going to have their time. But everything first begins here in the Americas. There's going to be events that are going to play out, and we're going to talk about that later on in another video, over there in Europe and Africa, in the so-called Middle East, in Asia. The three parts have their play and have their time also in these apocalyptic events. So they make it seem as if all apocalyptic events have to happen at the same time and it has to be a worldwide event. Most High is taking care of the Most High of His lands first. That's what it talks about in Joel 2. And then there's more to come after that. But what you're seeing playing out today is pretty much a little precursor to the bigger events that are to come. Now, this information, this gospel, if people say, you're not teaching the gospel or whatever else, this gospel is good news This good news is not only just for the Israelites that the Most High has opened their eyes and understanding to be able to see the truth. This good news is also for the Gentiles that the Most High has opened their eyes to see the truth as well. So I know that many Gentiles have been treated horribly as well. You know, it's not about, hey, I had it worse than you, so therefore, I'm, better than you or more important to the Most High. The Most High has, many Gentiles that have also gone through many rough times. And the Most High is opening them up to the truth. So like I said, I'm never all about all these people, all that people get this, and all these people get this, because that's not my job description, nor am I privy to that type of information. So this good news of who the Most High is, who He's over, and who He's calling. He's calling right now some Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites, some Hebrews as well, some of our cousins. He's calling, Gentiles as well. So if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, then this is the time to delve into this truth. I've been seeing a lot of comments from a lot of new people, and that's beautiful to see. People who have barely gotten exposed to this information and barely coming into the videos. It's a beautiful thing. Make sure you also go to bigjudah.com. There's a whole bunch of books and a lot of other resources, information there as well. So you guys can quickly, get on this journey and get down this road if the Most High is calling you. I'm here for the ones that the Most High is calling. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, green, brown, whoever the Most High is calling. That's what we're here for. We plant the seeds, and the Most High is the one that's watering. Most High uses us to plant some seeds here and there, and the Most High waters if they're ready for this information. And I'm seeing a lot of people are getting ready for this information because their foundation is shook. Good times Jesus is not here. Sports is barely here as well. And even if you look at the sports, it's not the same. It just has a different feel. Everything has a different feel right now. Things are not the way they used to be. As much as, the other nations are trying to get back to some sense of normalcy, that's never going to happen. But what we're going to get into right now is a book here. If you can still get a hold of these, there's two sets. The Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1. If you can get a hold of these, I would suggest you rush and get this stuff and read, because there's so much more information that's not in the Bible, not in the scriptures. So if you want to get deeper understanding, see, the things that are happening right now are in these books. And it makes so much sense as to why they've hidden these books, because they didn't want people to be able to, well, you can't put it together on your own. I don't put this information together on my own at all. The Most High guides me through the guidance of the Holy Spirit and the angels. They put this information together. So that says it's all praises to the Most High, because He's the one that's doing all of this. Now we're just going to read one small little paragraph, but look, it's like you're looking at the pages of the newspaper today. And you'll be able to see, most people right now are running around with that glossy look in their eyes because they have no idea what's going on. Churches aren't teaching them. Most people on the internet are still talking about Republicans and Democrats, right and left. I said they're not getting it. None of that stuff matters. Who are you going to vote for? Going forward, we need to get a Democrat in office so that we can get things better. Things have never been better with either in office. The only person or only entity I'm worried about is what the Most High wants, because His will shall be done. A lament for Egypt in those days. Now, this Egypt right now is going to be over here for the most part. I mean, of course, there's a lot of other things going on in other parts of the world. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's nothing going on and everything's hunky-dory everywhere else. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying a lot of the stuff that's going on right now is going to pertain to the Americas, the Most High's chosen land, and His people that are here. It says, "Woe to you, O rulers of Egypt! In those days, because your day has passed. So destruction to the rulers of Egypt. In those days, okay, because your day has passed. This is a future prophecy. The end of the 400 to 500 years of our destruction. That's what this is referring to. Remember the $20 bill, flip it upside down, and you see the face with the mask on it, 2020, 400 years. 20 times 20, 400 years. This is the future prophecy. Now this is when you see like Trump yesterday talking about how this plague has beset us. It's a terrible plague. And as you can see, they haven't tried to do anything to stop it because once their time is up, it's up. There's nothing they can do about it. They understand this because they knew what to hide. They know what to hide. The vast majority of the world, it went over their heads, the things he was saying. Someone else said, and I think in the interview, he was talking about the land being an inheritance. I didn't watch the whole interview, but even still, yes, their land. This land was their inheritance for a time. If that's what he said, then that is true. For 400 to 500 years, our lands were their inheritance for a time. But make sure you understand that it was only for a time. Now it says, the violence being done to the poor will turn against you, and your children will be seized as plunder. See, the violence being done to the poor will turn against you. Now, see, that's why I'm saying it's against not only just the Israelites, but also the poor of the other nations, the poor of the Gentiles, the poor of the other Hebrews, and the poor of the Hebrew Israelites, the ones, right, our forefathers. Now, look at today. You have many people who lost jobs, not because they wanted to quit, but because of the plague. This country, other countries, when, the plague hit and then people couldn't work, started giving them like monthly allowances in order for them to be able to stay home and in order to deal with the plague. Not this country. They don't believe in that. Republicans are like, oh no, you guys are being too lazy. If we give you guys any money, you guys won't want to go out to work. It's an incentive for you guys not to go find a job, even though there's about 50 plus million people who are unemployed and only 8 million jobs. So there's no jobs. But they're still using the same talking points as if society is as it always has been. Society is running as usual, and there's plenty of jobs and opportunities out here. So you see, this is the mental breakdown that you see with these people. They're not dealing with what's going on in reality right now. It's like a robot who doesn't have, can only think a certain way because of its programming. So they gave them $600 a week, and they were complaining about that for a certain amount of time. That's ran out now, going on a couple of weeks. You got almost 30 million people, or 29 million people who are dependent upon those benefits and that money, who aren't getting it. So it's only a matter of time before civil unrest begins. They're the government is far away from coming up with any kind of a plan, any kind of a compromise. So therefore, the people suffer. The poor suffer, and they don't care. You got billions of dollars behind in rent that cannot be made up. So you got a bunch of people getting ready to get evicted and become homeless. But the top brass here of Egypt don't care. You got people who are going to food banks because they can't feed their families, feed themselves. But the Egyptian rulers don't care. So eventually, as this says right here, it says, the violence being done to the poor will turn against you. The shooting down of our people, the killing of our people, all those things are going to turn on the rulers of Egypt. So you got a culmination of what's been done to the Hebrew Israelites, the Most High chosen people, what's being done to the poor of the other nations as well, all culminating into a huge, outbreak of people being upset, protests. You thought there were protests before, just wait for what's coming next. Now it says, and your children will be seized as plunder. See, these people, I've been seeing, someone sent me a video, one of the subscribers, and sent me a video, and it was a guy talking about Hebrew Israelites and and raping and killing and whatever else, and how he was saying that that's not going to happen and this and that. See, these guys have the Most High said double to everyone who's done all these things to us. What do you think he means when he says double? Everything that's happened to us is going to be double. Now, just because the vast majority of the world has not, been exposed to what has happened to us, you might want to check your history. You might want to check the things that the Most High allowed to be done to us. And if you allow that to be done to us, what makes you think that you're so special and the Most High won't do it to your kids? See, they have a mental block when that comes. That's why they have in the movies like Left Behind, all of the world's children being taken and they just vanish and go to heaven. Our kids have been going through destruction. Our women, children, men, rape, rob, murder, everything. But the rest of the world seems to think that they get a pass. But in this book, it's telling you right here, and your children will be seized as plunder. So apparently, the Most High here believes that generational curses. See, many people here are like, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I didn't have slaves. You have a society built on the backs of the Most High's chosen people. So even here, it tells you that the children will be seized as plunder. That your children didn't do anything, but the Most High is still going to make them pay for the sins of their fathers, just as he did with us. It says, in those days, the cities of Egypt will groan for the voice of the one who sells, and the one who buys will not be heard. Stores being closed, shut down, looted, destroyed, because that's all part of it. It's pretty much the destruction of society. That's what's on the horizon, and that's all part of the curses, and that's all part of the recompense that the Most High is going to bring. But you can see that when you talk about millions of people out of work, and millions of people who can't take care, of their daily needs. That means just the destruction of society, the collapse of society. And see, let's continue here. The markets of the cities of Egypt will become dusty. Those who are in Egypt will weep together. So those people the people here are going to be weeping together. They're going to see, they're already getting a little taste of it. Already getting a little taste of the fact that the good old days, the happy days, just like the show, are done. And I said, that's what's going on right now. They come into the realization that their days of fun and games and going on vacations and, just their sports and, all the parties on the weekends. I said, they're done. All right. So again, those who are in Egypt will weep together. They will desire death, but death will flee and leave them. See, this is Revelation 9. Then up there you got Revelation 18. See, you get a much better understanding of what's going on here when you have these other books. So with just the Bible, you can read it and kind of come in. You can get some understanding, but the Bible's still constantly going to get you back over into Africa and it gets you back over into the Middle East thinking, because that's what they've given us. But these are the things that are going to be happening right here. And so for them, they say, "Oh, that's the land of Egypt." That's what I hear from Christians. Oh, let's talk about anytime you say Egypt, it's over there. It's the land in the so-called Middle East. No, this is what's happening right here. It says they will desire death, but death will flee and leave them. In those days, they will run up to the rocks and leap off, saying, "Fall upon us," and they will not die. A double affliction will multiply upon the whole land. There it is again. The double affliction is going to multiply upon the whole land. That's talking about the lands right here. We went into Egypt. We went into slavery. We went into captivity in our own lands. So like I said, the double affliction will multiply upon the whole land. The land is very important. There's going to be a double affliction here on this land. A double affliction for the ones who came here and raped, robbed, and murdered, and hid identities, and pillaged the land, and do the whole encomienda system on the people and force them to work. The Most High never turned his eyes away. The angels have been here taking account the entire time. A double affliction on the land. So there you go back up there. It says, if you go back up here, then if it's a double affliction upon the land, then you go back up here. It says, and your children will be seized as plunder. That's in Joel 3. The lands that you guys came over here and took the natives or who are aborigines, our people, into slavery. It's going to be a double affliction on the land. Now you start to see why the Most High has shut down the borders. The Most High has not allowed the people to leave. That's all part of the double affliction that the Most High talks about in right here. You see that? And you can also see the precepts on the sides as well, so you can go look some of those things up. Okay, this is the apocalypse of Elijah. This was apparently then before the New Testament. So a lot of these things in the Old Testament or New Testament are pulling from the Old Testament. But they only give you parts. And then they give you the mindset of thinking about the so-called Middle East. So therefore you think about all these things happening over there while they're happening right now here. Remember, like you see here, look on the left, in the Americas, there's the vast majority of these afflictions are happening on the land, the double affliction on the land right here. So it's all starting to make much more sense. When you get the land right, you get the area right, then you start to see the prophecies manifesting in those areas. That should let you know all you need to know. They came in and they picked and and chose what parts they wanted to release in a book, and then they also taught you that all that stuff was going to happen right here. If you take a look, so we had a little blast in Beirut, and all the news has been talking about it. I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about what's happening right here, all down in here in my lands. I'm looking at prophecy in my lands, and don't worry, the Most High is going to get to everywhere else. But he's starting and bringing more knowledge and understanding to the lands right here in the Americas. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
This is China.
Supreme Kill Sound Maker.
Christopher Columbus came here 1492 to the north, yeah. Christopher Columbus was an Italian master, yeah. Navigator complete for gas across Atlantic Ocean, yeah. Now ways for European exploitation, yeah. And the colonization of America, yeah.